Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee's Education Subcommittee. As I mentioned during our last meeting, today's meeting agenda is short, and we will need to clear the room by about 3:40, 3:45 in order to prepare the room for the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee meeting to hear non-member amendments at 4 o'clock. That being said, we're looking forward to hearing from our presenters today. We will hear from President Ryan from the University of Virginia on behalf of the Council of Presidents and from Chancellor Dore from the Virginia Community College System. And before we begin these presentations, do we have any comments or questions from our subcommittee members? If not, I'll turn it over to President Ryan for his remarks.
Thank you, Senator Lockham. Thank you to all the senators here. As you heard, my name is Jim Ryan, and I really want to start by thanking you for inviting me to speak today. I'm here on behalf of the Council of Presidents, which I am chairing this year. And I would also be remiss not to thank you for your service to the Commonwealth and your support of higher education. I'd also like to say a word of thanks to my colleagues on the Council of Presidents and their respective teams. As you know, the Council is made up of public college and university presidents, the Chancellor of the Community College System, and several community college presidents. And I will say it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve as chair of this group, which is not something that people in higher ed often say about committees. But this council includes some of the most talented and dedicated leaders and thinkers I've ever worked with, and I think it's very fair to say that as a group, we work very well together and look for opportunities to collaborate. I promise I will be brief. I know that we're under some time pressure. I'd just like to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about the context of higher education and then some of the priorities of the Council of Presidents. As you know, this has not been an especially easy time for higher education. 5 years ago this March, we faced the pandemic, as did everyone else, which disrupted operations for a couple of years. Just as we were coming out of that, at UVA, we experienced the horrible shooting on grounds in November of 2022 that took the lives of 3 students and seriously injured 2 others. And last year, all of us grappled one way or another with the attack on Israel and the ensuing war in Gaza, which led to protests and demonstrations on college campuses across the nation, including at UVA. All the while, as you know, higher education has been in some turmoil with declining public trust, a rapidly changing landscape for college athletics, and in some places at least, a looming demographic cliff. And yet I would say through all of that, higher education in Virginia is not just surviving, but it is thriving. CNBC ranked Virginia's education system as the best in the country in 2024. The Lumina Foundation found that the rate of working age Virginians who have a post-secondary credential or degree is 6th best in the nation at just under 60%. And they also noted recent increases in attainment for Black and Hispanic Virginians. And Virginia has earned honors, as you know, as a top state for business, thanks in part to its wealth of post-secondary opportunities and bipartisan commitment to higher education. And speaking of the latter, I will say that none of the successes in higher education would be possible without the partnership of the Commonwealth and the General Assembly in particular, whether that is on bread and butter issues around access and affordability, or whether it's on cutting edge issues like biotechnology or artificial intelligence. So with that context in mind, let me share just a few of the priorities that the Council of Presidents are focused on this year. 4 in particular. One is college athletics, another is internships, 3rd is the Virginia Military Survivors and Dependents Education Program, and then the last is something I mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence. College athletics, we could spend an awful lot of time talking about college athletics. As you know, the landscape has changed dramatically just in the last 5 years through a combination of rule changes around compensation for name, image, and likeness, the transfer portal, conference realignments, and the recent settlement or the upcoming settlement in an antitrust suit concerning sharing revenue directly with college athletes. To say that college athletics is in a different place than it was 5 years ago would be a gross understatement. The Council of Presidents is working on ways to sustain and navigate through this new landscape with a focus on ensuring that we have strong athletics programs, but also strong academic programs, and not to lose sight of the fact that student athletes are both athletes and students. Another priority for the COP is expanding work-based learning opportunities for students, particularly through internships. Institutions across the Commonwealth are working with employers to increase the number and quality of internships available in order to connect more students to real-world experiences that are likely to keep them in Virginia after they graduate. We have been working with the Virginia Talent Opportunity Program, which is convened by SHEV, the Virginia Business Higher Education Council, and the Virginia Chamber to think creatively about how to engage more employers, how to ensure that internships are accessible to all students, including those who might face financial barriers, and how to promote best practices when it comes to participation and outcomes. We're also making progress on the collection of consistent data related to internship participation and outcomes so we can measure where we are now and use that as a way of benchmarking our progress. By the end of this academic year, we'll have a clearer picture of the landscape of internships and work-based learning in Virginia, and hopefully a more coordinated approach to sharing data across institutions. The third priority is securing ongoing support for the Virginia Military Survivors and Dependents Education Program. As you know, this is an incredibly important program that opens the door to education wider for deserving military families. The Council of Presidents is committed to sharing institutional data on participation and outcomes and identifying future needs in the hopes that this will continue to be a priority for the Commonwealth, as I very much expect it will. We are incredibly grateful for the support from the General Assembly in the last biennial budget, and we remain committed to this initiative. The last thing I'll mention is artificial intelligence. Obviously, this is exploding at the moment in terms of a field, but Virginia institutions have been involved in AI one way or the other for decades. And we are determined to be proactive rather than reactive in terms of ethically harnessing AI's capabilities. And we stand collectively ready to support this rapidly developing field for the benefit of the Commonwealth and beyond through what will hopefully be the creation of a Commonwealth Artificial Intelligence Institute, which would promote teaching and research related to AI as well as workforce development. And this year, you will see a request for planning for funding of this institute. I will end where I began, which is by thanking all of you. Like I said, none of what we do as institutions would be possible without your support. And at a time when there is overall declining trust in higher education, it is a comfort and a credit to all of you that the confidence of Virginians in Virginia institutions remains high. I will tell you on behalf of my colleagues, we do not take that for granted. And again, we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for having me, and thank you for your continued engagement and support.
Thank you, President Ryan. Are there any questions? Senator Stewart.
And I'm just curious, President Ryan, you may not be able to answer this, but when you talked about harnessing the power of AI ethically,
Yeah.
and I agree with that, but how do you do that? I mean, what do those parameters look like?
Yeah, so
I'm trying to learn. That's why I'm asking
no,
you this question.
You and me both. I mean, the challenge here is it's a difficult area to regulate because it's moving so quickly. So I think it is a combination of norms around responsible collection of data, norms around responsible use of AI, and some regulatory framework. But figuring that out is not easy at all, in part because, like I said, the technology is moving so quickly. Yeah.
And the institute that the universities is this going to be something collective?
Yeah. This would involve any and every university or college that wants to participate.
Okay. Would it be centered at one particular institution?
We haven't discussed So we have been in partnership with Virginia Tech to launch this, and have been in conversation with provosts and presidents and chancellors at other institutions. I don't think it's been determined yet where it would be housed, and my guess there wouldn't be a single location where it would be housed, but it would be more of a network.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. My pleasure. Thanks again.
Next, we'll hear from Chancellor Dore from the Virginia Community College System.
Thank you, and good afternoon. It is an honor to be here with the committee to give an update on the Virginia Community College System. So thank you. And I want to express my appreciation to you for your support of higher education and specifically your support of the Virginia Community Colleges. So I want to give a brief update. As you know, Virginia's community colleges are present and active in every corner of the Commonwealth. And truly, our statewide presence permeates the entire state and impacts lives everywhere throughout Virginia. And I think the economic impact of the Commonwealth is truly throughout the entire Commonwealth. The Virginia Community Colleges account for nearly half of all public undergraduate students in Virginia. So this is a sizable population of our higher education students in the Commonwealth. And we are really driving, I think, impactful change everywhere in Virginia. And I want to go over our enrollment a little bit with you. So our fall enrollment increased by 9.4% over the fall of 2021. And we've really seen our enrollment growing specifically in some real important areas. But one of the things that I'm excited about is typically community college enrollment increases when the economy is in a downturn and when unemployment is high. And in Virginia, we have a good economy and relatively low unemployment. So this is a real positive that our enrollment is, in fact, increasing during this time. And in terms of where the enrollment growth is strongest, we're seeing a lot of growth, particularly in our career and technical area. And I think this really speaks to the alignment of the system with the highest demand sectors in Virginia. And so this is an area that we're really proud that is growing. And I anticipate that this is an area that we will need to grow considerably during our strategic plan period and in the next several years. We're also seeing wonderful growth in our dual enrollment. And again, this is a real strategy on the part of the community college system to continue that access so that students really have that opportunity, whether they're going on to a four-year institution and they reduce that time because that reduces considerably the cost of that four-year baccalaureate degree. Also, I really want to point out that our fast-forward students increased by 127% over the baseline year of 2017. And, Fast Forward has become a critical component in delivering our mission by providing Virginians access to high-paying, high-demand jobs while also providing Virginia's businesses the talent that they need. Now, our Fast Forward enrollment is typically not counted in our traditional enrollment numbers. So I really want to point that out to the committee. And again, this is an exciting area where we are seeing a lot of growth. In terms of the impact of the community college system, again, last year we served over 232,000 students across the Commonwealth. And that's our Fast Forward students, our credit students, transfer, career, and technical. That was $11.6 billion annual economic impact. And in terms of the investment that the Commonwealth makes yields a $2.7 for every dollar in terms of returning back to taxes for Virginia. The other thing I like to really emphasize is how exciting it is that our graduates stay and work in Virginia. We educate Virginians, and we know that over 81% of the students that go through a Virginia community college will stay and work their career here in Virginia. And so that investment in the community college system really is a long-term investment in Virginia's talent. We are a system with 23 colleges. We're one system. Our vision as one unified system is really to accelerate access and success for all students by investing in Virginia's workforce and developing talent aligned with tomorrow's needs. Our strategic plan, Accelerate Opportunity, positions Virginia's community colleges to capitalize on our successes to further adapt to the needs of the Commonwealth and those we serve. Driving our vision and our momentum is the need to fill Virginia's skills gap. We have an obligation to Virginians to create new opportunities and address critical labor shortages in industries crucial to the Commonwealth's economy. Virginia should not be among the 16 states whose labor shortage is classified as most severe. So what are we doing to address these challenges? We are now taking a new collaborative approach with industry to solve these challenges together and scale up to meet demand. In the last 14 months, we have convened 2 statewide summits with healthcare and skilled trades industry leaders to address the challenges with meeting the training demand, identified shared opportunities for success, and define a roadmap for how we will partner better together across these sectors. These industry summits are part of a broader, intentional focus to align educational solutions to solving unmet, critical, regional, and workforce needs, and additional summits are planned in the coming months. Now, our amended budget operating requests include $90 million of one-time costs to transform our existing spaces to deliver more people with the high-demand degrees and credentials necessary for success, plus an additional $46.2 million in additional ongoing state support to sustain those same high-level programs. And these are our most high-cost programs to deliver as well. Things like healthcare, skilled trades, manufacturing, where we have high costs in terms of equipment and labs. These investments reflect the Commonwealth's workforce priorities and what it will truly take to achieve meaningful forward progress from where we stand today. Because while our successes and our impact are significant, current funding levels do not match the necessary level of investment needed to keep Virginia competitive. Our colleges are the lowest funded higher education institutions in the Commonwealth. For every $1 that goes to a 4-year public university in Virginia, the VCCS receives 57 cents per full-time equivalent student. Virginia's community colleges are proof of performance that our students, our workforce, and our communities and economies benefit from strong investments. The average community college graduate with an associate's degree will see an increase in earnings of $12,000 and $1,200 annually compared to a high school diploma. And students who go to the community college will see over $21,000 savings on their 4-year baccalaureate degree as well. 55,000 high school students are receiving college credit through dual enrollment courses, which provide a direct pathway to advancing college degrees or directly entering the workforce, a step recognized and prioritized by the current administration. The proposed $35 million investment to sustain and grow dual enrollment, known as the College and Career Ready Fund, supports no-cost dual enrollment for students and school divisions. We applaud this proposal, and our ongoing funding is essential to our colleges to sustain existing capacity and meaningful post-secondary degrees and transferable college credit to students throughout the Commonwealth. Also, our community colleges, like all public higher educational institutions, have substantial ongoing capital and infrastructure needs. With that said, I want to express our deep appreciation for the general capital funding that Virginia's community colleges have received to date, as it has made a difference on our campuses and for our students. In fact, ongoing investments are essential to deliver the goals that we have set forth in our strategic plan, Accelerate Opportunity, to deliver 300,000 meaningful degrees and credentials by 2030, to deliver 30,000 job-ready workers through Fast Forward by 2030, and to sustain and to grow dual enrollment. It is these strategic goals and the investments needed to achieve them that will continue to propel Virginia forward. And as President Ryan said, let's not forget that Virginia was named the #1 state for business due in large part to our strong educational system. And we are proud to say that Virginia's community colleges have played a significant role in setting the stage for businesses to succeed. Again, I want to offer my, again, appreciation to the General Assembly for your ongoing support of the Virginia community colleges. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very interesting data. Any questions to Dr. Duray? If not, thank you so very much for your remarks. And, look forward to hearing more from our community college system and working with you as we go through this session. But before we adjourn, are there any other questions coming from our committee members, subcommittee members? Okay. Well,
thank you,
much.
Madam Chair.
Appreciate it. And we want to thank our presenters today. Thank you, President Ryan. Thank you, President Duray. So our next meeting will be on Tuesday, January 21st at 3:30 p.m. So we'll look for our subcommittee members then. And if there's no additional questions or information, we will adjourn until then, and I'll see you at 4 o'clock.
The Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.